If a spoon is able to make food taste saltier, will people consume less salt? That's the idea behind a new product that's been developed by a Japanese beverage company. It's called the electric salt spoon, and what it does is use a battery to give your tongue a slight electrical charge. That's said to attract sodium ions, and that's intended to make food taste as salty as it normally does, but after its sodium content has been reduced by about 33%. Everyone needs salt to function and stay healthy, but too much of it over time has been linked to strokes, high blood pressure, and some other health problems. A Japanese researcher says the electric salt spoon can help people get used to meals with less sodium, but it could possibly make them taste the same. Will users be comfortable with the idea of an electric charge on their tongues? That remains to be seen, as well as whether people would use the spoon on regular foods to make them taste even more salty. Why didn't the company do this for chopsticks? It says it was too hard to make the electronics fit without a wire, and that kept the chopsticks from moving normally. How much would the spoon cost? $127 when a limited number go on sale in Japan. Availability in other countries is planned for next year. Hi, I'm Carl Azuz for The World from A to Z. Welcome to the show. These are highly unstable times for the Middle East, and it's unclear if the loss of Iran's leader will have an impact. Early Monday morning, Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi, the country's foreign minister, and some other officials were found dead in a helicopter crash. They'd been flying back to Tehran after attending a planned event in the northwestern part of the country. The chopper went down in a heavy fog, hitting a steep hillside, but beyond that, Iran's official media didn't detail a specific cause for the crash. The nation's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, is still in power, and its vice president, Mohammad Mokhber, assumes the presidency until new elections are held within a couple months. Iran remains a rival of the U.S. and an enemy of Israel, a country it attacked with missiles and drones last month. It's expected to continue to support militias that are hostile to Israel and to continue to make weapons that Russia is using in its invasion of Ukraine. Meanwhile, as war in the Middle East continues between Israel and the Hamas militant group, a prosecutor with the International Criminal Court believes leaders from both sides should be arrested. The court itself is located in the Netherlands. It was established in 2002 to put people on trial for alleged war crimes, genocide, and crimes against humanity.
October 7th, 2023, the Hamas terror attack that ignited a war and a catastrophic humanitarian crisis. Now, an international prosecutor is taking action against both sides.
We've applied for warrants to the pretrial chamber of the International Criminal Court in relation to 3 individuals that are Hamas members. The charges are extermination, murder, taking of hostages, assault in detention.
In a statement Monday, Hamas said it strongly condemns the ICC prosecutor's attempts to equate victims with aggressors by issuing arrest warrants against Palestinian resistance leaders.
We have a variety of evidence to support the applications that we've submitted to the judges.
The ICC prosecutor is also going after Israeli leadership.
We'll apply for warrants for Prime Minister Netanyahu and also Minister of Defense Gallant for the crimes of causing extermination, causing starvation as a method of war, including the denial of humanitarian relief supplies.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called the application for warrants a political outrage and says the war will continue until the hostages are released and Hamas is destroyed. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said Monday afternoon the U.S. fundamentally rejects the ICC prosecutor's actions, adding that the ICC doesn't have jurisdiction in this matter. The arrest applications now go to a panel of ICC judges for consideration. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
So what does all that mean? For starters, though Hamas and Israeli leaders have been accused of crimes, it's up to the panel of ICC judges you just heard about to decide whether the leaders should be arrested. And if that panel says they should be, it's not certain that they would be. Here's why. Several countries around the world don't recognize the court's authority. Israel is one of them. The U.S. is one of them. That's the reason America says the court doesn't have jurisdiction here. But 124 countries do recognize the court. They've agreed to abide by its decisions. So if it issues arrest warrants for Israeli or Hamas leaders, and those leaders travel to one of those countries, they would be expected to arrest the suspects and turn them over to the court. On this date in world history. An American nurse and activist named Clara Barton made history on May 21st. This was the date in 1881 when she founded the American Red Cross, having been inspired by the international organization that aimed to help wounded soldiers, prisoners, doctors, and nurses. And it's time to slow down, Leadfoot. Speed limit round these parts is 15 miles per hour. Or at least it was in the U.S. state of Connecticut back in 1901 when the first automotive speed limit was passed. Cars weren't allowed to exceed 12 miles per hour in city limits and 15 out in the country. And on this date in 1972, a famous sculpture by Michelangelo was badly damaged when a mentally disturbed man attacked it with a hammer. It took a little less than a year to restore the Pietà, which Michelangelo carved in the late 1490s. It still stands at St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican, but now behind bulletproof glass.
Word of knowledge. What is the only bear species that's native to South America? Spectacled bear, sloth bear, sun bear, Mexican brown bear. Also known as the Andean bear or Paddington bear, and often distinguished by the light-colored fur around their eyes, the spectacled bear is the answer.
It takes a lot of land to produce coffee beans, as in thousands of acres. These Colombian coffee farmers have the farmland, but they have to share it with bears. And for a long time, this was seen as a big nuisance for coffee growers. But from field foes to friends, the farmers recently gave up nearly 1,000 acres to benefit South America's last surviving bear species, the Andean bear. Native to mountain ranges, the omnivorous animal is often called the Paddington bear. The animal was long perceived as a threat by coffee growers, ruining crops, killing cattle. So, to protect these, farmers began hunting the Andean bears, and the species started to dwindle. The bears are currently classified as vulnerable, listed on the International Union for Conservation of Nature Red List of Threatened Species. In 2017, conservation groups estimated about 8,000 bears are left in Colombia. Today, the species is now being protected thanks to a program called Conservamos la Vida, or We Preserve Life. And farmers don't have to just grin and bear the deal. In exchange for helping protect the bears, the farmers get some help too, supplied with materials they need for coffee growing and processing, animal feed and infrastructure, and their domesticated animals are kept out of reach of hungry bears.
The idea with the sensitization agreements is to begin to generate awareness among the people of the community so that they can understand the importance of the species and also be our allies in the conservation issue.
Happy to once again welcome viewers from the last frontier. In the state of Alaska, Miss Dieter's class is with us today. Dot Lake School is in the community of Dot Lake. And awesome. To the Grand Canyon state of Arizona, that's where Mrs. Hawks or Mrs. Hawks' class is watching from Mountain Sky Junior High. The Eagles are flying over the city of Phoenix. And last but not least, it's Mr. Casper's class we're shouting out from Putnam, Connecticut. We see you at Putnam Middle School. What in the world? Surf's up, dog! Adventurous owners and their courageous canines recently took to the waves in Spain. This isn't just an exhibition, it's a competition. The European Dog Surfing Championship. The animals and their owners paddled out together to hang 20, or is it 18? How many toes does a dog have? Anyway, they went surfing in the third annual event organized by a dog food company. It's waves of fun for the animals and their owners, and the company says this also aims to encourage people to adopt dogs. It's the fun each dog deserves. For the sharks, it's like hors d'oeuvres, but none gets served when canines swerve down curving waves like tidal bores. They always find the doggy doors with four on the floor of the deck riding ashore. It's sure that barky boarding battles unleash joy with doggy paddles. I'm Carl Azuz. Thanks for riding with us on the world from A to Z. You mean the world to me.